球団としてはもういつでもウェルカムですし、ぜひですね日本の選手がこれからもどんどん本当は来てほしいですけどもね。
And the Ichiros of the world, make them Yankees again,
How do you see the future of the Japanese market and the Japanese baseball players?
Wow, it has certainly changed over time, and I think there are going to be more and more really talented players that continue to come over the years. We've obviously seen it over the last decade, and hopefully we can be a part of that. We've had a rich history of Japanese players, from Matsui on to Kuroda and Ichiro and Tanaka, and it's been a little while since we've had a Japanese player, but we're hopeful that in the next few years we can have 1, 2, maybe 3, just like the Dodgers, and continue to build that relationship with the Japanese people and the Japanese baseball culture. Yeah, well, I think one is we have a scout who's now based in Japan, who lives there full time, who scouts the NPB and then also the KBO for us, and so that was the first step. And then now I think hopefully continue to build that infrastructure out to make sure that Japanese, one, we're on the right Japanese player, we're evaluating them properly, and then they're also comfortable coming to New York and coming to the Yankees and playing in our environment.
Is there any particular baseball players abroad, of course including Japan, the Yankees is particularly interested?
Many of them. I won't name any, in particular or specific, but both, I think, on the pitching side and position player side, there are many players that we have our eyes on that we think are going to make an impact, soon, and then also in the future as well.
We didn't think that Ionaga would do that well.
Amazing. You fit in right away.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw videos all the time. He would bring coffee in for people or bring food in. He was always trying to build those connections, which are so important when you have 162 games and 182 days.
So other than Imai, Takashi, Kona, Hiroto, Shunpeita.
いやー、宮城を言うのもみんな知ってんだ。相撲が。
Yeah. Shorter pitchers need a lot of athleticism, a good delivery. The types that have had success that are a little smaller, like David Cohn, Marcus Stroman, who we have, Sonny Gray, very athletic guys.
So it has to be really athletic.
Yes.
Every game, you get the opponent's best effort. Every game, your fans expect you to give your best effort. And as a competitor, there's nothing better than to be held to that high of a standard. Yeah, the USA Stadium. Yeah, it's a great game.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Team USA.
Team USA.
I bet we played in the Tokyo Dome. I really enjoyed my time there. Yeah, I really did. I got to know Masa pretty well for 1 year here. I love my time. I love my time in Japan. I was, but yeah, I love my time there, and I'm looking forward at some point to be going back. I text Masa every once in a while. He's gonna give me. He's gonna host me a little bit when I eventually have time to get back. Are you in the Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame? Yes.
Catcher.
Yeah, so he's a YouTuber.
Wow.
He is a famous Japanese YouTuber for catching.
For catching?
Yeah.
What do you think about the catching that we do with the drop knee? Yeah.
いや、いいんじゃない。逆にどうですか。今最近このフレーミングって動かす感じ。
How do you think about the framing these days?
I think it's. I think it's good for us. I mean, I think sometimes too much. Yeah, it's a little. It messes up the aesthetic of it all. You gotta be strategic with it. Pick your spots. But I remember the Japanese catchers framed pitches real hard too. その流れになってる。There was we had a great time. They had a really great pitcher that never panned out. High schooler, Saito. Yeah, he threw like 3 complete games to win the championship or whatever.
For when you pitch.
When I was out there, he was like
Which Saito?
Yuki
Ah.
Saito, short guy. Yeah, he was really good. He was really good.
So yeah, Atsuya runs one of the most famous, popular YouTube baseball channels for baseball lovers. So I call him a baseball YouTuber now.
Yeah.
YouTuber.
How'd you get into it?
野球に貢献するにはさ、YouTube が一番だと思った。
That's great. How long have you been doing it for on YouTube?
For years, yeah.
It's not like a variety show.
Right.
It's teaching technique.
Yep.
That's his YouTube.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Even the
YouTuber.
NPB players are watching.
Really? Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. I mean, if you have good instruction, people will go and seek it out.
Yeah.
今日もなんか教えてもらおう。100マイル投げるコツを教えてもらうんで。
How to throw 100 miles an hour.
You guys know how to do that. Sasaki came over here.
Oh, you've seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he's good.
He's good.
Yeah.
He plays a full season, though, right?
Right,
That's,
that's the
always a tough
challenge.
one.
Yeah,
まだ
very
ね、
slender.
しょうがない。
So yeah, we met with both Yamamoto and
That's right.
Sasaki.
Yeah.
彼は契約の時の交渉の席に座ってたから。Yeah,
So
sitting in.
both very.
もうちょっとね、大きくなってきたらね。
Yeah. Well, it's very nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, have fun the rest
Yeah,
of the
have
day.
fun. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
YouTuber ってことバレちゃいましたね。
いやでもすごいね、彼はそれは素晴らしいって言ってました。なぜかというと若い子がそっちの方が見るから、やっぱりトレーニングも若い子に合わせてトレーニング変えていくのもそうだし、メディアも変えていくっていうのは。
I'm curious about your perspectives, your insights on the LA Dodgers, who were, of course, you competed against in World Series, who has as many as 3 Japanese players right now: Otani, Sasaki, and Yamamoto, of course. What's your take on the team?
Well, they're a great team. Don't get me wrong, and they're better because they have another Japanese guy who we tried to get, I think. But I think it's because it's a lot shorter from LA to Japan than it is from New York to Japan. So maybe he didn't want to travel. Maybe they don't like travel. They want to compete, okay? And you can't blame them for wanting to do the same thing that we want, okay? And I think because of Otani and the success that he's had, I think the Japanese players, tend to kind of go there. Because when I sit down and watch, I love watching Otani. I'm a pitcher. I love to watch him when he's pitching. Okay, I don't like to watch it when he's pitching against us, but I like it when he's pitching. So, but it's good. I mean, it's great. Hopefully we can do what LA's doing. You need we don't have a Japanese player. Okay, like I said, the ones that we have been going after the last couple of years have signed elsewhere. So, hopefully we can get a Japanese player that would want to come to New York to play. Because if you could get one like Matsui, then you might get somebody else that, okay, well, where do I go? Well, a guy like Matsui could influence someone from Japan to play in New York. Because that when Yamamoto signed, Otani talked to him. When Sasaki signed, Otani and Yamamoto talked to him. So that's what you need here in this organization. Someone to come here who's a good player and make a name for himself, then use him as a draw to get a Japanese player.
Is there any particular Japanese ball players right now that you are interested in the most?
Now, I understand that there's a first baseman that's real good that they've mentioned. I've seen his name once or twice, so I don't know. Whatever happens next year, you hope that maybe we can do something. And we'll just keep our fingers crossed.
And I think these kids here, they're wanting to learn and absorb all the experience and the disappointment of it, and it's going to make them better.
How does the New York Yankees stay on top of the competition continuously?
Well, it's from the top. It's the organization from the top. They spend money, but they also scout really good players. And the program that they implement is really conducive to the players being prepared, having the facility to do their work, and just understanding the history of the Yankees and that the expectations again are very high. So we try to recruit players that understand that challenge, and it's entertainment in New York. You know how it is. I remember great Matsui was always great when he came to us. He was already prepared for the challenge, and to me he was clutch, and he knew that being a New York Yankee, even though he came from Tokyo Giants, right? He was the Giants, that he knew that it's about winning. And so that kind of filtered into the Yankees. And the Yankees are committed to always putting a good product on the field, giving the players the resources to be successful. And now it's a matter of all the players just coming together and playing for one. You know what I mean? Good people, good teammates, trying to recruit guys who understand not to be selfish. You know what I mean? So it's not perfect, but you try to draft people that understand that philosophy.
What do you see the future of the Japanese ball players and the Japanese market?
The future is bright. It's great. I mean, I had the pleasure of competing in the WBC and the Premier 12. When we played a lot of the teams, and I think they're getting better and better. And it's all about competition. So you just look at the resume. Just look at the record. Every year you get these great players coming, and to me, you're going to see more and more of that. I love the way they play fundamental baseball. They bunt, they run, they catch the ball. So I love fundamental baseball. And the thing I enjoy about the Japanese game and the Asian game is that they are very fundamentally sound. They might not be as big or strong, but then you see them as doing that too. You see the evolution of them. So to me, I'm always curious of watching what comes across the pond, what comes here, because I know that when players do come to the States, they're going to be good players and they're going to be ready to play. And then go after them or whatever. And it's a lot of competition, but if you have a player that's really, really excels at what you want, you got to pay to go get them, and usually they always do the job.
あと伝統という話だったんですけど、今年からちょっとひげが OK になるとか、ちょっと新しいものを取り入れながらヤンキースも少し変わってきたのかなってなんで、監督としてどうですかね。
Yeah, so the facial hair thing has been something the last few years that I know ownership and the front office and the organization as a whole has been considering. And then, the last few weeks, Hal Steinbrenner, our owner, really just started to meet with a lot of people, current players, former players, about it. And I think the time was right. We're proud of that tradition that we've had, and we're not going to be like some teams where, you still got to keep it tight and hair and everything. But we felt like the time was right, and hopefully something that serves our organization well moving forward with bringing players in.
じゃあお願いします。Thank you.
Thank you.
例えばピッチクロックとか出てきてですね、時間も短くなっちゃった分だけ準備する時間がちょっと必要な、今までより多くなったのかなと思うんですけど、いかがなんですかね。
You certainly have to be prepared in terms of knowing your pitcher strengths, knowing the batter weakness, how those things merge together, because the window of time we have now to make decisions has been condensed, right? So in years past, maybe where we had information that we could readily go to, as a reminder, we're not afforded that time anymore. So you really have to do a lot of work on the front end, leading up to the game. To be able to make decisions quickly, and with confidence.
More time preparation.
More time leading up to the game to make sure it's really instilled. So when we go out there, you can make precise and quick decisions, and do so with confidence and conviction, so the pitcher can feel good about whatever adjustments we're making throughout the course of a game.
どうですか。だからこそどうやってシンプルに時間を短縮する何か方法とかあるんですかね。
100%. Yeah, we continue to look for ways to educate, to provide good feedback. So we regularly sit down with our catchers, myself, our pitching coaches, potentially our analysts, and we talk about our guys specifically a lot. You know, what does Clark Schmidt need to do to have success? What does Garrett Cole need to do to have success? Left-handed hitter versus right-handed hitter. You know, attack counts versus 2 strikes. You know, what's the put-away pitch? What pitch can he go to when he needs a called strike? And then how can we kind of merge that with some of the things that catchers are doing to try to, you know, achieve those outcomes? So there's a lot of conversations that are happening throughout the course of the day that go unseen. You know, the fans and the general public, they see the batting practice on the field and they see the pregame work right before the game in the bullpen, but there's hours of preparation going on behind the scenes, really pouring into our players, specifically our pitchers, but also the hitters, the opposing hitters, and what their strengths are, and what are specific areas of the zone that maybe we could try to expose, or where does a batter's weakness align with a pitcher's strength. So those are things that we're diligently, you know, focused on throughout the course of the day, heading into a series. Because those you know, games are won and lost often on, you know, only a handful of pitches, and we want to make sure that we're doing everything within reason to make sure our decision-making process is really sound. I mean, we spent a lot of time from a skill development standpoint with our catchers trying to improve, you know, everything that we do. You know, we spent a lot of time focused on pitch framing, figuring out ways that we can win on the margins. You know, the league as a whole, I think catchers across all levels, internationally, domestically, like catchers are getting really, really good at being able to expand the strike zone, right? And but also being able to convert balls in the dirt, find ways to be a little bit more efficient throwing out runners as kind of the rules have changed and kind of shifted the advantage to the runner. There's things that we're trying to do strategically to get better there. So from a skill standpoint, you know, we're trying to find the smallest margins anywhere we can. But above and beyond that, like a lot of our focus is, again, going back to what we talked about game planning wise, is trying to find ways to get a little bit more out of our pitchers. You know, how do we get a few more quality starts? How do we escape a few more innings when we get into jams and the reliever comes in with the bases loaded? You know, can we escape those innings? How do we finish a few more games, right, and not blow leads late? So I think all that is just continuing to invest in our pitchers and really understanding what they do well and what makes them great, and figuring out how we can do those things just a little bit better each night.
今日もちょっと見させてもらったんですけど、すごくデータとかいろんなものがよくいいものが増えたんですけど、キャッチャーの役割って増えてんじゃないかなと思ってるんですけど、いかがですかね。
Yeah, there's a lot of paperwork, a lot of data, but it's just another learning tool. There's always something new that you can find an edge that will allow you to have success with your pitching staff. So for me, it's great. I love all the data that we get, and our front office and everybody does such a great job with that, and making it readable and understandable as well for us. So it's great.
で、日本ってまだピッチクロック入ってないんですけど、アメリカピッチクロック18秒の間でもう短い時間で考えて決断してサイン出せるって難しいんじゃないかなって僕なんて思うんですけど。
Yeah, the pitch clock, you just have shorter time to make a decision on what pitches you want to call, and if the pitcher shakes, then you got to move quickly to get to the next pitch. So for me, when I'm preparing, like I feel like I'm always 1 or 2 pitches ahead of where we're at, just so that I have an idea when the pitch is thrown. I can already have an idea of what pitch I want to call for the next one, and that just allows with the shorter amount of time to be able to have a little bit more efficiency.
難しいからこそいいキャッチャーがいるところのチームは強くなると僕は思ってるんで。
I think that could be very true. No, but I think, like you said, it's it shortens the time, but being prepared, I think, is the number one most important thing. So I think the most prepared team is going to have a better advantage.
このグラウンドは今年レイズしか使えないんですかね。
試合はそうですよね。ただヤンキーズのロゴだけは全部隠すって言ってました。結構いろんなところにあるので。
結構椅子とかにも全部ついてました。
それは全部隠すそうです。
ヤンキースの懐が深いですね、この貸し出す。
オーナーがこっちに実際住んでるので、オーナーがもうその地域貢献ということで、あと野球にとってそれが正しいっていうことをメディアでは話してましたね。メジャーリーグもやっぱり野球界のファミリーみたいなもので。もうみんなつながってますし、各球団のその職員同士も交流があるので、オーナー同士もそういう形で 僕も各球団のオーナーの方々と来日するとお食事に行ったりするので、なんかそういう形で、一つのファミリーみたいなもんですよね。
南さんも楽天のこの運営をされてたと思うんですけど、球団のやっぱりMLBと日本の野球では結構違うものなんですよ。
違うところと似てるところもたくさんあって、実際そのグラウンドでやる野球っていう、ひょっとするとそのビジネスからすると商品っていうものはそんなに差はないと思うんですよね。ただその背景にあるビジネスモデルとか、どこでその儲けるのか、そしてリーグ全体でどうその野球っていう商品を価値を上げていくのかっていうところに関しては、やっぱ考え方が全然違いますし、アメリカの場合もでもこの20年30年で相当進化していった。でその一番大きなその進化ってやっぱ放映権の考え方で、もともと地上波だけでやっていたものをそのアマゾンですとかアップルですとか、そういうその OTT って言われているそのインターネット放送によりその軸を移していった。そして収益を上げていった。そしてそのスポーツベッティングが解禁されるとともに、そこのその放映権とこのスポーツベッティングとうまく連動させながら、より収益を最大化させていく。それがまたファンだったりその選手だったり野球界全体に再投資されていくっていう、このエコシステムができたっていうのが、この20年間この見てきた野球界の大きな、特にアメリカでの進化だったんじゃないかなと思います。そこのビジネスモデルの再設計っていうのは、日本ですとその J リーグですとか B リーグは新しいリーグだからこそ、その海外のうまくいってるそのリーグ運営っていうのをやってますが、どうしても日本の野球界は歴史がもう80年以上ありますので、そういう意味ではそこの再設計の時期に来てるんじゃないかなと思ってますし、各球団でもリーグでも NPB でもそういうようなディスカッションはされてるとお聞きしてますんで、期待したいですけどね。日本の野球がどんどんさらに未来永劫進化していくためにも。
あれですよ、古さん、そもそも南さんとのお付き合いは球界再編の時からですよね。改めて。
そうですね。20年ほど前ですね。はい。
ちょうど20年ですよね。
だから僕は20代でバリバリ働いた頃よく知ってますよ。
一球団職員として頑張ってましたんで、古瀬さんたちがこの選手会の皆さんの頑張りによってある意味誕生した球団が楽天イーグルスだったので、ちょうど僕はまだ新規参入が認められたのが11月2日2004年だったんですけど、その前の9月に準備室に入社しまして、でそこで準備する中で選手会ですとかいろんな野球界の方々とその接触し、なぜこの球団が生まれたかっていうのを古瀬さんから説明を受けたのを覚えてますよね。そして頑張ってくれっていうのをすごいその選手会側から応援してもらったのは本当に心強かったですし、で2004年から2005年にかける野球騒動、そして生まれた楽天イーグルスっていうのは本当に選手の皆さん他球団の方々にもたくさん協力いただいたので、野球界総出上げて本当に作った球団だと思うので、今の野球界に貢献できたっていうことは思い出としては素晴らしいなと思ってます。
その頃からMLB の球団のオーナーっていうのは意識されてたんですか？
僕はもう本当に子供の時から幼稚園の時に80年代父親の仕事でカナダのトロントに引っ越して、10歳の時の夢がプロ野球選手メジャーリーガーではなくてメジャーリーグの球団オーナーになりたいっていうのが10歳の時の自分の明確な夢で、それを10歳の時から口にしながら、で楽天イーグル時代にも多分古瀬さんと話した時にも僕メジャーリーグの球団オーナーになるんですよっていうのを多分熱く語ってたんですが、こうやってまた古瀬さんと一緒にこのヤンキースの春キャンプに来れたっていうことは本当に夢のような出来事ですし、オーナーの一人として球団にこういう形で日本のファンの皆さんにこのヤンキースの素晴らしさ、ヤンキースがなぜこんなに強くあり続けるのかっていうことをシェアできるってことは僕にとっても夢のような出来事ですので、よろしくお願いします。これはですね、ニューヨーク編もやった方がいいですね。
そうです。最後ボルグ